Hey guys, often in the gun market there's new products that are just so innovative that guys like me and probably like you are kind of like, wow, why didn't I think of that way before this person thought of that? Because that's just an ingenious, common sense, design. And I mean, sometimes I wish I would just think about the stupidest things and make them and make money off of them. And I mean, there's guys that already beat me to it, so I'm not going to, steal their show or anything. So I'll just kind of get on with my story here. A lot of the things in the market now have been, the popular things is magnetic holsters. And there are several companies around who make these magnetic holsters, and they've been around for quite a while. But it's just like, why don't I make my own, which is cheaper than what they make? I mean, not degrading what they make and how their quality and everything, but I can make it just the same, maybe even better. And I'm talking about there's a company here called Fast Holster, which stands for Firearm Access System Technologies. I have one of these holsters, obviously. This is a tube for it. I purchased this, I don't know, about a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago now. It was like 25 bucks at a gun show, and it's a very good deal, very good magnetic holster. And I have a video I made about 6 months ago, and I annotate it here. It works just fine. It works perfectly, and because it can mount in your house, in your car, I mean just anywhere you want a gun to be. It was like a 5-pound magnetic holster, and it works. Definitely holds up. Any firearm you put up to it, any handgun anyways, it's magnetic. A polymer handgun, maybe not. A Glock works fine, but anything else, maybe a little iffy, depending on the materials it's made out of. But I went out and bought a new safe, okay? And this new safe I got has absolutely no room for accessories such as magazines and tools that I need to put in, just any kind of armorer's tools or anything. So I've been pondering what I can do to make a holster, to do that. For where to put my tools and magazines in that. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I went off and did a little bit of thinking and finally figured out what I'm going to do. And I made it. And this right here is my homemade magnetic holster that's going to work perfect for what I was looking for. As you can see, it's a little wider. I mean, it's even longer than this. It's the Fast holster I've got. The Fast holster is only about 3 inches long, or maybe 4 inches long. But anyways, this one right here is 10 and a half inches long, including the ends. But it has in this these simple craft magnets. I picked these magnets here. I picked them up at Harbor Freight Tools. Harbor Freight, it's kind of an iffy company, but sometimes you have some things you just like really need, and that's a good place to go. These are only a total of 3 pounds a piece, and so you have 3, 6, 9, 12 pounds total here. And just to show you, I have a couple of things over here. I'll show you how strong these magnets really are. Right here I have my modified Savage Axis magazine. It has a 20-round AR mag attached to it, and I've done, configured it that way. And of course this is steel here, and this is aluminum, so it's not really going to stick here. But the reason why it is sticky here is because I have steel case ammo right behind that, and it does work. But since this is steel up here, you can see if I had that mounted on the inside of my safe, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to sit right there, and it'll be ready for me to go. Next, I have a simple 10-round Ruger magazine. Obviously, it's polymer on the outside, but the lips are steel, and it works fine. I mean, I can shake it, and it's not coming off. I've got like 5 or 6 of these magazines, the 10-rounders, and they just kind of sit there and clutter up my safe so far. And so this is going to be a nice addition to get them organized and out of the way. Well, let's keep on going. The Ruger 2245, it holds it fine. I mean, that's 12 pounds total. It holds it to the side, so you can mount this on underneath a table or on the side of a desk or whatever, and it's going to do its job. It's obviously bigger than most holsters you see, because most magnetic holsters have a stronger magnet, like up to a 10-pound magnet, and so it's going to be much tougher to get it off. But for the most part, it's going to do its job. Now you have to talk about the magazine, which this was the real reason why I made this, because in the safe, that'll kind of go like so, and that's going to be perfect on the door or inside the safe itself. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and unload the Glock. Empty chamber. Okay, does the Glock fit? Does it stick? Perfect. It's heavy, 12 pounds. This gun is like what, under 2 pounds. Unloaded, so it's not going anywhere. I mean, I can shake it and it's not coming off, and that would work, flawlessly, keeping it in there. And how about the Glock mag? Okay, look at that. It sticks to it. It's a little heavier than just because only getting one mag at a time or so. If I put it between the magnets, you can kind of see these little indentions here, where the magnets are separated, but it pulls pretty good. Or I can go like that and get 3 or 4, 3 magnets, and it's not going to fall off. So I'll go ahead and hot shot that thing back up. Okay. There's the Glock, and let's see here. One more thing: a fully loaded AK mag. The steel mag is going to stick. Is it going to stick? Yes, it kind of moves down a little bit, but if I had to put this underneath the table, for just in case emergency or something like that, it's not going to go anywhere. It does kind of flop around a little bit if I shake it, but that's to be expected. It's definitely working. And so I'm gonna make one of these really quick on camera, just to show you how easily you can make your own magnetic holster, and very cheap. Like I said, this fast holster cost me 25 bucks, and I've seen these holsters anywhere from 25 to 40 bucks. And like I said, obviously these only hold 3 pounds a piece, so 12 pounds total magnetic force on this, but you just saw what it's going to be able to hold, and when it's just sitting there in the safe, it's not going to fall. So we'll go ahead and we'll make one up real quick, okay? Okay, so for the holster, we need several components. First of all, obviously our magnets. So what I've got here are 4 magnets. Go open the second package here, and just kind of get some of that gunk off them, because there's a lot of dust on them. I don't know, but what you want to get is rare earth magnets, because really anything else isn't going to work. So there are your magnets in the raw right there, raw air magnets. Okay. So we're going to take them off that magnet, line them up, and so obviously we're going to need something to back it up, on the back side, something to screw to the inside of your cabinet, your safe, your drawer, whatever it is. So what I've got here is just some fiberboard. Now this came out of some furniture, I think, I can't remember, but it's came in handy several times on some of my videos, and especially like my holster video, I made a outline for it, I cut it out and everything. But anyways, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna measure this all out. Where in general we want this at. So like this one, oh son of a gun. This one right here was yay long. I made this one just shy of 10.5, so about 10 3/8 of an inch. I'm gonna go make this 10 inches long. Okay. So I just got a pencil and mark it there. There's your 10-inch mark, right there. Now next is to simply line up all your magnets, kind of a tongue twister, so they're on the edge completely, okay? Now then I got this old paint stick I got, and I'm just going to use it to have something to cut against and something to kind of draw against there, just like so. Then we'll just go ahead and complete that line there. And since I don't want to cut into my table, I'll go ahead and use my Dual piece of wood here. Okay. And you kind of go outside the line because you're going to do some sanding in a second. Okay, make sure it's as straight as you can get. I mean, you could probably use a bandsaw for this. My goodness, I can't even make a straight line. You could probably use a saw, some kind of shop tool for this. Well, maybe even a saw. That's kind of pointless because this stuff is so thin. And you could also use whatever you wanted, really, to make a backing. You could use a piece of 1/4-inch plywood, and it would probably work just fine. This is 1/4-inch wood here. The only reason why I didn't use this is because it's just really thick, and this is just a little bit, more mainstream and thin. Okay, so there we go. And you see there's a lot of rough edge there. And so this is where something as simple as some sandpaper will come in. Just kind of clean it up. Make sure there's no curves in it. Okay. Finish out the edge. Okay, get rid of this. Get rid of all this piece here. All these pieces. Excuse me. So anyways, there's your backing, and it looks really flimsy, and right now it is. But the next step, which I didn't tell you just a second ago, is not. This is not rubber tire. This is heat shrink, and this is 1-inch heat shrink. As you can see, as it formed around that, that's exactly what it is. It just hit 1-inch heat shrink, and it melts down to 1 inch exactly, or just under 1 inch. And I actually made this, 5/8, 7/8 of an inch. Wide, and so it's going to do perfect. But this right here is actually 1.5 inches, or just roughly at 1.5 inches, and it does shrink down over it. So I got this also at Harbor Freight. I got this as a pack. It came in 4 foot for there was the 1 inch and 3/4, half, and 1/4 inch, all for like $3, and there's 4 foot of each, which is a pretty good deal, I think. And so I just want to go out just a hair over each side. And I'll go over here, and I'll just cut this here. Okay. So I've got this, which is going to be on the outside of it. And it's going to shrink down a little bit, and it's going to perform well. Now your next thing you're going to want to do is get your cleaner side of your magnets. Is measure each end of your magnets. That's 1.25 inches out. That's 1 inch and there you go. This is just going to be shy on each side. Okay, so you're going to make your marks where your magnets are going to sit. Okay. And this is where this will come in handy again. This board. This fiber board works for everything. And what we're going to do is take some contact cement. Like, you know, it's great for crafting and everything. I've used it multiple times also in my videos. But we're just going to take this here and soak that fiber board down. This is what the magnets are going to stick to, obviously. And we're just going to go ahead and go over the line just a hair. And I like to get a good thick coat on that. Excuse me. Okay. And so the next thing, which is kind of an odd thing to do, I think anyways, is we're going to take a hair dryer, and dry. We're going to dry the contact cement. Okay, it's not drying completely. It's just trying to get the top layer tacky. And as you can see, it's pretty tacky. And so we'll take just a little bit more contact cement and run it across. Okay, I apologize for my stuffy nose. The allergies are kicking in on top of this contact cement. And we're just going to take, this is pretty sticky now, take our magnets, lay them within our lines, and get them to stick pretty good. Now the next thing to do, I think, for me anyways, I will, excuse me. The next thing I'm going to do is take some more of this contact cement, not get it all over the place like I already have, and I'm going to lay it across the top of the magnets and on the sides, because I want them to kind of get a bond together. Other than the magnetic bond that will make it stay a little bit better inside of the tubing. And this may not be the best way to do this, it's just how I'm going to do it. And that's going to include the sides. Alright. I'll just go ahead and do this side here, this back side. And it's kind of falling on me. Okay. I'm just going to take my pencil here and reset everything to the center. Just like that. We'll take a hair blower and do it again. And that's going to be, it's pretty warm. I can feel the heat coming off the magnets now. But that's going to keep those in place while we insert them into the heat shrink. It'll be easiest to just kind of push and pull. Okay, so now I got it all centered up in there like I want it to be. And we're going to take this board back and we're going to just apply heat to it. Now this isn't hot enough, this burns pretty warm, but it isn't going to get it as hot and as it needs to be. So let's go ahead and take the torch to it. How about that? Okay, we're just going to simply run the torch over, get it start to melt. And it takes nothing to start shrinking. You'll see it pretty quick. You don't want to stay on one side too long because it'll start to melt the heat shrink completely, and you don't want that. Okay. Now going with that, kind of flimsy. We're going to shrink both sides. And shrink that down. Shrink that down. Okay. And now while it's hot, I'm going to grab a glove. And I'm going to take the end here and crimp it down so it gets nice and sealed. Not that it makes a big difference, but it'll make the end look much better. Okay. And it has some dirt on it from the wood. But this is still a little warm in here, and it'll go and it will shrink down when it cools, and it'll form fit to it more. Okay. So my next thing I'm going to do is just simply take a razor blade and trim the excess on the end off. So now what you have is this one didn't really that clean, but usually the ends will somewhat look pretty clean. And as you can see, I'll put these together. This one's going to be longer, which I can actually shorten it up quite a bit. But there are the ends. As you can see, this side's pretty clean, and both of these kind of separate. I cut a little close, but we can go back and warm them up and set them like they should be. But the top one's a little longer. The first one was, but overall, I think they're pretty cool, pretty good quality. I'll go ahead and drill 2 holes in here, and see, this here's already, it's a little flexible, but it's already cooled down, so it's gonna get hard. But I'll go ahead and drill 2 holes in each side and mount them in my safe and go on from there. But in all, for these 2 magnets, each set of 2 magnets was $1, or not $1, but they were 50 cents at Harbor Freight Tools. And so I've got $2 in magnets here. Nothing in the fiberboard because it's old material, and maybe 50 cents in the heat shrink tube. I mean, anywhere else you can find heat shrink tube. That's a pretty big amount of heat shrink tube for what I got, the price wise. And this probably cost me 75 cents because I got 4 other sizes with it for $3. So I would say probably under $5. Definitely, I've got 2 12-pound gun magnets, which will be able to mount magazines and tools and firearms themselves in my safe. So I'm going to show how I mount them in my safe real quick, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I got my magnetic holster here, and what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to lay it right back there in the back of the safe, where obviously below me are my firearms, and that's going to be set in there. So I mean, the barrels aren't going to be touching, and anything I put on the shelf my arm's laying on, they aren't going to be touching it either. So that's where I'm going to get them. I'm going to lay my holster there, and probably one over on this side wall over here. And I plan on making another one for right here on my door, because this will be good for some more spare magazines. That's a lot of storage. But I'm going to be using these plastic anchor screws, because these are good. The anchors will, I don't know if you can see that. I'll go ahead and open them. These anchors will mount into the fireboard, it's like drywall, but for fireboard. These little anchors there will be able to pull back into the screw when it goes in there, instead of being just bored out of the fireboard. And so I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes, and I will show you what it looks like when I'm getting it mounted. Okay, so after some retrofitting, some screws, because that back panel is much closer to the back wall of it than I expected, I had to cut some screws down. But anyways, here we got the magnet. Look at that. It works. There's that. There's the Savage mag. We've got a couple 10-22 mags in there now. And heck, how about this Glock mag? We even got a Glock mag in there. And so that's a little bit of space saving in my safe now. And so now I have room for my handguns to go here, a couple boxes of ammunition, and whatever else I need to put in on this shelf. Instead of having all these mags just sitting there, because that's how I've had them for the past couple of weeks. Because I just bought this safe a couple of weeks ago, and I had all my 1022 mags, and of course these polymers here, they're not going to stick up there, but they can stay where they were. And obviously I'm going to have some more room. Now my next one is going to go right here, and I'm going to show you my quick process of how I do that. Okay, so we have the one on the door here, and as you can see, I've got plenty of room to put one, and so I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it down ways so I can make sure I have enough clearance above and beyond and everything. So all I'm going to do is simply take and measure, let's say 4 inches down from the top, and make sure it's, so I measured this at 10 3/8 across, about 3/4 in, and so I'm going to go ahead and just take my drill, and of course drill in. And the one thing you have to be wary about is that since it is carpet, it is going to catch on your drill bit, get tangled, and it burns the edges. Now this goes to my next thing. I'm going to take the butt end of a drill bit, the same size as the anchor I need. Just going to get it warm. We're just going to take and melt that carpet. Maybe a little bit hotter than that. Okay, we're just going to melt that carpet. I'm going to take it over here and melt this carpet. Make sure it's melted good enough. Okay. Now prevent it from tearing any at all. And then I've got another drill bit that's ready to go with that size, or a drill with that size bit in it. Excuse me for I got me on to talk tonight. And this is going to drill right through. And yes, do be careful drilling through, because there is components in behind this fireboard that, for the door and everything. So we're just going to take this one. And it doesn't take anything to, it's just like drywall, but it's fireboard. So that's that. And then we got our little our little anchors. We'll just take and push those in, because it doesn't take anything to push those in. Not with the right size bit. Anyways. So now we got 2 anchors, as you can see there, the right one and the left one, that are placed as they should be. And then we've got our 2 screws up here. There's one. Got our magnet. We're just going to take and start it through here. We've got a couple of washers in there because I don't want them screws pulling through. I want some spacing between them. And then we'll get the other screw and washer set up. Start it here. Okay. And as you're screwing in, the anchor is pulling against the fireboard, and it's opening up because that screw is going and is pulling back. And so you can get it pretty tight. Don't over tighten it because you'll wire it out. Okay. So I know there's print on this side. You know, it's not a big deal, but that's a pretty good little holster right there, a magnetic holster. And we'll test it out again, just like we did the other stuff. There's the Glock mag. Probably better that way, you know, on the side because it's going to get more magnets. But we'll test it out with the Savage mag. It works good. You can open and close it. How about 3 10-22 mags? You got one there, and one there. There we go. That'd be awesome for a couple BX25 mags. Be perfect for it. Don't have any other mags right here. But there's the installation of 2 magnetic holsters that will do their job perfectly. Thanks for watching. This is Ian. I'll have more coming to you soon.